Why is it that the gym simply doesn't work for some people? See, you will see a lot of guides on the internet that will tell you, hey, the gym is good, the gym is not good, and opinions will be either pro or con. And there are a lot of people who just crave attention and they promote a certain idea just to vampirize on people. Yes, to get some attention. They don't care what they promote, they just want their attention. There was this and still is this wave of false gurus showing themselves speaking as if they are the mother or father figure you never had in your life. And they just prey on people's attention and on them being somewhat innocent and confused about life. See, a lot of people will tell you to do the gym. Especially for men, it feels like a good thing to do after you break up with your pookie or after something happens. Or, well, something that disappointed you. Or, well, you suddenly want to commit to a big change in life. People have to understand the mechanic of their psyche. When you want to commit to a change, you have to go through something, or you will unconsciously go through a phase called the negation phase. That negation phase is something that's, as far as my own research is presented, it is two-phased. First, you will negate anything else that exists, and at the same time, actually, you will negate everything that you have experienced. Yes? So, when those two sides are balanced, you become one with the idea of balance. Yes? Because the negation phase has a simple point: break your imagination, because when you live in a situation that you become tired of, you will start imagining all sorts of better or worse possibilities. The negation phase has the necessity, or, well, implies the necessity that in order to move in life, first you have to break those stupid imaginations. Yes? Then at the same time, people negate and ignore the current experiences. Yes, everything is still good, nothing is necessarily bad. Yes, and these two will feel like rising tides, an ebb and flow, each ripping at your energy. And, well, in the end, the problem is the person, the one who truly lives this life, that which you truly are, beyond your expectations, attachments, and the such. Well, you are simply giving both of these sides the energy that they need to exist. The negation phase is supposed to simply teach you, or, well, you are supposed to figure out how to make use of it, to realize that neither of these two sides is needed. Yes, both of them present you a certain opinion, but they're not necessarily needed. Yes, so technically they are both needed because they both show what has been going subconsciously in your psyche as well as in your mind. We all imagine things and then by the end of the day most likely we forget them. Or, well, by the start of next day we probably already forget. But the subconscious does never forget. And everything that we think of is stored somewhere in there and becomes little thought forms that require their own attention. Hence why people who overthink are usually tired all the time. So the negation phase is a period of time where you don't have to commit to any change, because anything new that you add will simply be eroded much faster than usual. Yes? The negation phase is usually the phase that comes before someone's either explicit or accidental, let's say, enlightenment, or a little phase of awakening. Yes? When someone finally realizes that certain things were actually not serving them at all. This happens to the majority of people sooner or later, depending on how willing people are to commit to a change and to make the step into the new. Well, the negation phase will last sooner, or, well, will last shorter or longer. But the point is, there will come a certain time when, if people still fight against whatever was once holding them back, suddenly they will wake up as if none of those problems actually existed. Life does not care about your own awareness, life does not care about your own struggles and the such. Your life will simply go on. Sometimes, suddenly, well, some of these obsessions or whatever you had are simply going to break. It doesn't mean that they're not going to try to crawl back. The moment you slip back into unconsciousness, they will slowly try to get back to you. But It all matters whether you still wish to invest in the old you or you wish to simply embrace something new. The old will always sound comfortable, yes, but the new is a challenge, and a lot of people are too complacent for a challenge. Now, the gym won't work for other people because many people actually, not some, many people will want after or in this negation phase where they should be preparing for something new. They need to become more inward, more spiritual. Instead, people just want to distract themselves from the problem and do something extremely physical that will somehow, hopefully, ground them. Yes, they seek grounding through some physical activities. Now, I'm not saying the gym is not something good. It is very good, but just like anything else that you do with your life, it is preferable that you do at a moment when you are actually capable of that. It is not necessarily good to do anything when you're having mental fatigue because or psychological fatigue, because the problem is everything that you will do you will feel more of the fatigue rather than any joy. Initially you might feel some joy because you're finally doing something, you're finally feeling grounded, you're finally feeling as if you're no longer being pulled by the strings that others built into your life. But in the negation phase, everything has a purpose, and its purpose, well, is converted to that of going away. A negation phase in life is something that happens to all of us, well, at certain moments, and its purpose is to simply detach you from so many things that you have become complacent with. And that is why one reason, I'm not saying the only, but it is one reason why people starting certain activities in such a phase, they will simply give it up sooner or later. They will feel that in time it is not worthy. And many of those people that I told you that vampirize on people also capitalize indirectly of this, because they also teach you that it is your fault that you're not getting the results. It's not their fault that they're not teaching you anything good, then they're just preying on you, your innocence, your naivety, or well, your confusion, and they're all interested in your money, more or less. They're not teaching you anything special. Most likely, those fuckers don't know shit about themselves. If one wants to overcome their challenges, their problems in life, one needs to take some days off. One needs to take some time to start letting things go on. Because we live in a society where everyone's convincing us that everything about us is bad, is wrong, and everything is good as long as you're giving attention to others. But the big question is when you're actually going to take a look in the mirror and start asking the big questions. When are you actually going to give attention to yourself? Yes? A lot of people become a mess trying to fix others just because others are asking for it. Yes, this is a tough lesson that a lot of people have to learn. And boundaries, oh well, boundaries are very important, but you need to solve some of the mess within you in order to start building boundaries. So the point is, many of the things that you do, try to not do them as an obsession, as a means to escape something, because sooner or later, those escape mechanisms will be regarded as irrelevant, and you're probably going to end up yet again um, abusing and accusing yourself of wasting your time. There is no such thing as time wasted in this lifetime because time is passing by anyways. Time is technically, or as some people say it, the greatest enemy of your existence. But why look at it as an enemy when you can look at it as something? It doesn't matter. It just passes. Okay. But everything that you do in life, it is an experience. You can learn something. If you don't do anything, it is still an experience. But there is not much to learn from that usually. So hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness. I appreciate it. Take care. Enjoy life. This being said, Ferenc Board signing out.